YouTube decided I was not appropriate for their advertisers, and so they stopped all advertising on my channel.
You see a woman in a leather jacket, a gloss black helmet, and a custom Harley with barbed chrome grips. But what you don't see is a life full of secrets. Dana's life isn't just about tearing through asphalt. It's about outsmarting the entire system. Because while the world was staring at her bike, she was quietly building a brand. A brand that pays her more than some Fortune 500 execs make in bonuses. Yeah, I said it. This isn't just a story about biker gear and high-speed drama. This is a story about a woman who turned a near-death crash into content, and then turned that content into cash. But here's the thing. Dana didn't just fall and rise. She rewrote the whole damn origin story. You think she was born a biker? Not even close. The truth starts way before the leather, and it's messier, louder, and way more badass than you'd expect. The hidden biker. Dana's origin story doesn't start with a bike. It starts with a number. The kind hissed at girls who dared to love things that rumble. At 12, she'd linger outside the local garage, memorizing engine specs while boys got handed wrenches. By 18, she'd saved enough for a beat-up Honda, only to hear, "You'll kill yourself on that thing." Spoiler, she didn't. But she did learn something. The world hates a woman who refuses to stay in her lane. So she carved her own. Late-night rides became her rebellion, the highway her confessional. And when the doubters said, "You're just a poser," she'd fire back with a burnout, rubber scorching the pavement like a signature. Then came the crash. Not the metaphorical kind, the metal meets guardrail, ambulance lights kind. Most people would quit. Dana? She streamed her recovery from a hospital bed, her cast signed by the nurses who called her Hell on Wheels. That viral moment wasn't luck. It was a strategy. Because Dana knew the secret. The world would watch a woman fall, but it would pay to see her get back up. Today, Dana's not just a rider. She's a myth. The kind who wears stilettos to bike shows just to piss off purists. Who turned her 2 Xray helmet, scratched from that crash, into a logo. And who still gets DMs like, "But you don't look like a biker." Her reply? Exactly. But Dana's transformation wasn't just internal. It manifested in her style. Let's delve into how her wardrobe choices redefine biker fashion, and why that pink mohawk helmet is a $200,000 tax write-off. From helmet to runway. Back in the day, biker fashion wasn't just clothing. It was armor, literally. Those thick leather jackets, designed to protect riders when asphalt became a cheese grater. The heavy boots, to keep your ankles from snapping like twigs during a wipeout. This was survival gear disguised as rebellion. But here's what nobody talks about. That iconic outlaw look? It was corporate from day one. That perfecto jacket Brando made famous? Mass-produced in a New Jersey factory. The biker uniform was always someone else's bottom line. Fast forward to the 2020s, and the whole game has changed. The rugged aesthetic remains, but it's been infused with modern sensibilities. Designers are blending the old with the new, creating looks that pay homage to the past while embracing the future. It's not just about looking tough anymore, it's about expressing individuality and style. That's the kind of environment Dana thrives in. Known as the woman who turned her Harley into a catwalk, Dana entirely blurs the line between tradition and innovation. Because here's the truth. Biker fashion was never just about looking tough. It was about survival. But it's not just about aesthetics for Dana. Her fashion choices are a statement, a way of asserting her identity in a world that often tries to pigeonhole women into predefined roles. By embracing both the ruggedness of biker culture and the softness of bohemian fashion, she's carving out a space that's entirely her own. The moment the helmet comes off, the cameras flash. Take her infamous crash couture look. A custom corset laced over armored mesh. Inspired by that time she walked away from a wreck and still made it to a photo shoot. "Pain is temporary," she posted. "But this outfit? Iconic." Then there's her helmet collection, each one a story. The pink mohawk model? A middle finger to the mechanic who said, "Girls ride pink." The cracked 2 Xray shells she refuses to replace? "It's my receipts," she laughs. But the real power move? Her moto boho twist. While other influencers chase trends, Dana creates them. Like the day she paired a vintage lace wedding veil with a bulletproof vest. The internet lost it. Designers literally DM'd her for sketches. And the kicker? She was wearing $30 Walmart boots the whole time. The moto boho trend isn't just fringe and florals, it's a revolution. It's riders saying, "I won't choose between safe and sexy." And Dana? She's the unofficial poster girl. Stats don't lie. After her biker hippie collab with Rewrote, sales of floral print armor spiked 147%. But here's the twist. This trend isn't just for women. Male riders are snapping up kimono-style riding shirts, proving Dana's influence stretches beyond gender. Even high fashion took notice. When Vogue featured her steel and silk photo shoot, where she draped a ball gown over her bike's frame, comment sections erupted. "This isn't real riding!" cried the gatekeepers. Meanwhile, Dana was backstage signing a deal with Dainese. The lesson: the future of biker fashion isn't in uniformity. It's in the clash, the wrong combinations that feel so right. Dana's style isn't just changing racks, it's shifting culture. Suddenly, gear companies are scrambling to hire female designers. Rally organizers are adding best-dressed categories. And that Moto Boho hashtag? 2.3 million posts and counting. But the real victory? The messages Dana gets daily. "You made me believe I could ride and be myself." Because that's the secret sauce, Dana didn't just crack the code of biker fashion, she hacked it. She proved that leather and lace can coexist. A helmet can be both safety gear and a crown. And the industry? They're finally listening. Dana's genius is making rebellion marketable, says Marie Claire's lead stylist. She's the first influencer who treats riding gear like high fashion because, to her, it is. While her style turns heads, it's her gear that raises eyebrows. Let's uncover the truth behind those infamous 2 Xray shorts and why one viral TikTok about their hidden pockets almost crashed a corporate empire. 2 Xray shorts expose. There's a product so talked about in the biker community that it almost became a legend overnight. The 2 Xray shorts. Ever since Dana slid into them on Instagram, the debate hasn't stopped. Are they the next big thing in biker safety? Or just a viral gimmick riding the coattails of influencer hype? The 2 Xray shorts were born into a world where biker gear had always been about the basics: leather, metal, and Kevlar. But these shorts, they're a completely different animal. Designed as a next-gen solution for motorcyclists, these shorts combine lightweight comfort with heavy-duty protection. They're meant to look super stylish on and off the bike. The shorts are an evolution of the tactical outer protective gear that's been around for years, but with a twist. They prioritize aesthetics almost as much as safety. Think of it like a blend of armor and sexy. On the surface, they look like something you'd wear to a yoga class. if your yoga class involved breaking the speed limit and not much else. Inside, however, is a layer of high-performance Kevlar. They're built to withstand high-impact falls, but also promise a certain level of flair. When Dana first wore her pair for that infamous Instagram post, no one could have predicted the post to go viral. Almost immediately, her comments flooded in, and the shorts were suddenly the talk of every biker forum, Instagram page, and YouTube channel. But here's where it gets interesting. Did the two Xray shorts blow up because they were revolutionary in design? Or because Dana's endorsement was the right mix of edgy and aspirational? Okay, let's get down to it. How practical are these shorts, really? Are they just another piece of influencer hype? Or do they actually stand up to the everyday biker's needs? The two Xray shorts promise to deliver both protection and comfort. But here's the catch. In the world of protective motorcycle gear, there's always a trade-off. You want comfort? You're going to sacrifice some protection. Want top-notch protection? You're probably going to roast in the summer heat. Here's the rundown on what makes them tick. The shorts use Kevlar panels, basically the same material used in bulletproof vests and high-end motorcycle jackets. But unlike those bulky, heavy jackets, the Xray shorts are lightweight, designed to mold to your body, and allow for maximum mobility. This might sound perfect for the warm days when you want to stay protected but not suffocated by layers. But there's a price to pay. Because they're so thin, the shorts don't offer the same level of protection you'd get from a full set of riding pants or armored jeans. Sure, they'll do the job in a minor fall, but if you're planning on throwing yourself down a highway at full speed, which, for some reason, I wouldn't recommend, you might want something a little more robust. Now, let's talk comfort. These things were designed with style in mind, and you can tell. They're breathable and flexible, and they look pretty damn good. But if you're riding through the cold mornings or deep into the rainy season, good luck. There's no layering with these bad boys. They're a fair-weather solution, made for riders who want to stay cool and stylish when the weather's on their side. But here's the kicker. In a space that's historically been all about function, the two Xray shorts are challenging everything. They're not just a safety product, they're making you think about fashion as part of your gear. So, do they work? In short bursts, they're fantastic. As a long-term solution for serious bikers who ride through all seasons and conditions, maybe not so much. Let's talk about how the world's been reacting to Dana's two Xray shorts. And trust me, it's not all rainbows and fast bikes. When Dana first posted a picture of herself wearing the shorts, the number of likes? Off the charts. But the real story was in the comments. Some people were all in, raving about how these shorts could be a game changer for the industry. Others? Not so much. One thing's for sure. People have opinions. You've got the hardcore bikers, the ones who want practical, tested gear, and they were immediately skeptical. Kevlar shorts? Seriously? What's next? Spandex armor? They scoff. Then there were the fashion-forward riders who see biking as an expression of style as much as it is about the ride. They were all over the two Xray shorts, calling them the future of motorcycle gear. They loved the look, the vibe, and the fact that the shorts were a fresh take on the boring old motorcycle gear market. And in between? Well, you've got the middle ground folks who were torn. Some say the shorts are perfect for short trips and casual rides around town. Others argue that at the price point, around $99, they might not offer enough protection to justify the cost, especially when you consider other alternatives in the same price range, like Revzilla's armored motorcycle shorts or the full Kevlar shorts from Eagle Leather. But here's the thing. The reception wasn't entirely negative. Some people who had actually worn the shorts reported feeling a noticeable difference in comfort compared to traditional armored gear. They liked that the shorts didn't make them feel like they were wearing a suit of armor while still providing protection. But let's be real here. The main reason the two Xray shorts blew up wasn't because they were some sort of breakthrough in safety gear. No, it was because Dana wore them and made them a symbol of freedom. When she endorses something, it's not just about the product, it's about the vibe. Dana made these shorts a statement. Dana isn't just a biker, she's a movement. Her endorsement of the two Xray shorts took them from a niche product to a viral sensation. Here's where things get interesting. Dana's influence goes way beyond a simple, "Hey, check out these cool shorts" post. When Dana wears something, it's more than just a fashion choice. It's a lifestyle. Her followers don't just want to wear what she wears, they want to be her. And that's a level of influence few can reach. Dana's massive online presence helped these shorts break into the mainstream in ways no marketing campaign could have ever done. That's the magic of Dana. She doesn't just show up with products, she creates a narrative. Her endorsement. It wasn't just a casual plug. It became part of her larger story, a symbol of how she's reshaping biker culture, one piece of gear at a time. But let's be honest, the real value in these shorts isn't just in the Kevlar lining, it's in what they represent. They're part of a bigger movement, one where fashion and safety collide. And who knows, in the world of motorcycle gear, that could just be the future. However, beyond the gear lies a story of financial acumen. How does Dana fund her lifestyle? The revelations might surprise you. Stick around, because we're diving deep into the money behind Dana's empire next. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Money on two wheels. All right, we've all seen Dana's insane riding skills. But did you know she's making waves in ways that go way beyond the throttle? Spoiler alert, it's more than just YouTube ads. Let's kick things off with what you think you know. YouTube ad revenue. Social Blade's public estimates put Dana's earnings anywhere between $8,000 and $130 a month, depending on views. But here's the kicker. Those numbers are off. Way off. Nox Influencer breaks it down with some hard truths about Dana's actual revenue. In reality, her monthly earnings hover closer to the $45,000 mark. Still impressive, right? But here's the real plot twist. Those numbers don't take into account the massive dips from demonetization. YouTube's algorithm loves to play games, and Dana's channel has been hit more than once. When YouTube hit her with the demonetization hammer, she had to get creative to keep the lights on. You think Dana's just riding the ad revenue train? Think again. She's figured out how to pivot fast, making her income as flexible as her riding style. But this is only the start. Now, let's talk about Dana's merch line. Oh yeah, she's got one. And it's not just some half-baked t-shirts. This stuff, it's selling out. Her designs have become a cult favorite, with some pieces regularly clearing six figures in sales. Dana's top-selling gear? The Steel and Silk logo collection is the one where she combined that raw biker aesthetic with a touch of high fashion. People want to be seen in this stuff. And they are. Her profit margins are a lot more solid than the average online store. Dana's gear isn't mass-produced in some warehouses overseas. It's made with care, and the pricing reflects it. She's not just selling clothes, she's selling a lifestyle. And the kicker? The profit margins are insane. While typical biker gear might rake in a 20 to 30% profit margin, Dana's gear is pulling in upwards of 50%. So, yeah, she's making bank every time someone buys a shirt with her logo. Dana's merch isn't just for the loyal fans, it's for anyone who wants to buy into a movement. She's become a brand, a brand that oozes cool, and that cool factor makes her merch sell like wildfire. All right, let's get into the real money, the one that's not tied to algorithms, Patreon. Dana's supporters are paying to support her directly. And they're not just tipping for her behind-the-scenes videos or custom bike designs. No, her Patreon is like an exclusive club that's harder to get into than a VIP lounge at Sturgis. With over 2,000 active subscribers, Dana's Patreon pulls in anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 a month, depending on what she's offering. Her top-tier subscribers? They're paying over $50 a month for serious perks. Custom one-on-one riding tutorials, exclusive gear, and some serious VIP treatment at her bike events. Dana's got a loyal following that's willing to pay for that inside access. The trust? It's solid, like the steel of her bike frame. Dana's Patreon is more than just a revenue stream. It's a way of bringing her closest fans into her world. Here's where things get a little spicy. After facing multiple waves of demonetization on YouTube, Dana had to think outside the box. Way outside. She launched an adult content channel. Now, don't get it twisted. It's not what you think. This isn't a look at me kind of thing. It's about showing another side of herself. Her confidence, her entrepreneurial spirit, and, yeah, a bit of her wild side too. This pivot wasn't just about making money, it was about taking control of her content. Platforms like Patreon and OnlyFans gave her the freedom to do exactly what she wanted, without worrying about ad revenue drying up overnight. So, while some might see this move as controversial, Dana's seen a massive uptick in subscribers, pulling in anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 a month. And the best part? No middleman. Just Dana, her audience, and a direct exchange. Dana's move into adult content wasn't about cashing in on controversy. It was about taking back control. It's a bold step, but it's paying off significantly. And honestly, it's kind of genius. But here's what separates Dana from everyone else in this hustle game. She's not just doing it for the cash. Yeah, the money's great. But when you talk to her, you'll quickly realize it's the passion that fuels her. As she once said, money's cool, but when you have a community that believes in you, that's the real currency. She's not out here just selling products and creating content for the paycheck. It's about connecting with her fans, those who truly believe in what she's doing. That's why her merchandise moves. That's why her Patreon's growing. And that's why people can't stop talking about Dana. She's built a community, not just a business. Dana's story isn't just about making money. It's about making a difference in the biker world, inspiring her followers, and building a legacy. That's the currency she trades in. Dana's hustle game is a masterclass in diversification. From YouTube ads, to custom gear sales, to a Patreon with real exclusivity, she's turning every corner of the internet into a cash cow. And that pivot to adult content? Bold, smart, and most importantly, it's paying off. Dana's not just chasing money. She's chasing something bigger, something that connects her to a community of loyal followers who support her every step of the way. And in the world of YouTube, merch, and adult content, that's the secret sauce. Would I buy into her empire? You bet I would. Would you? Community behind the ride. You've seen Dana tearing through mountain passes and building an empire from her 2 Xray shorts, but her greatest achievement? It might just be the tribe she's forged. This segment isn't about gear or money. It's about the people who found purpose in her ride. These aren't passive viewers. They're mechanics turned meetup leaders. They're Reddit users who call her a 911 dispatcher for lost riders. Maybe it's their inside thing. But, all in all, thanks to Dana, complete strangers across continents have found mentors in each other, forming support chains that extend far beyond YouTube comments. On Reddit threads, in solo garage workshops, and along charity rides that raise thousands for mental health nonprofits. In Dana's world, every subscriber count represents a human story, and every comment could be the lifeline someone needs when facing their next road bend. As engines rev and sunset hues flood the frame, Instagram reels flicker by. Riders from Tokyo to Toronto proudly wearing Dana's merch, each tag a thank you note. You catch a glimpse of Jessie, a new rider in Berlin, clutching her steel and silk hoodie after her first solo ride. Alejandro in Mexico City, decked out in patches, he says gave him the confidence to get back on a bike after an accident. These quick clips aren't ads, they're raw snapshots of transformation. The visual cuts sync with a heartbeat track, boom, boom, mirroring each rider's pulse as they press post and feel a bit braver in Dana's branded armor. Cut to Reddit, where the conversation runs deeper. A moderator's voice overlays footage of a typed comment. Dana's advice got me through my first spill without panic. Another scroll. You're not alone. She said it, and I believed it. In this forum, Dana's more than a creator. She's a mentor. She pops into threads to answer questions about cornering technique or crash recovery, always with that signature mix of empathy and edge. For riders battling post-crash anxiety or even deeper struggles with depression, her presence online is a lifeline. The sound design softens here. A low synth pad underlines the gravity of mental health. When she reminds them, every fall is fuel. It's not just a catchphrase, it's a creed. Then, shift to a sunlit parking lot where helmets gleam and engines purr. The monthly biker stuff fans meet up in Los Angeles. 75 riders roll in, a kaleidoscope of machines, bobbers polished to a mirror shine, gutted-out cafe racers humming with precision, and vintage restorations resurrected from decades of rust. Attendance here has nearly tripled since its first gathering 6 months ago, drawing everyone from 18-year-old weekend drifters to retired road warriors in their 60s. Cameras sweep past pop-up tents sponsored by a downtown custom shop, where mechanics offer free tune-ups, and a mental health nonprofit quietly sets up resource tables. Inside a corrugated metal workshop stall, volunteers demonstrate how to retrofit Kevlar panels into our 2 Xray shorts, while nearby, certified peer counselors lead soft light check-ins on coping after crashes. Laughter bubbles over as someone recounts their first wobble on a sidecar, gasps ripple through the crowd at tales of close calls, and more than one hardened rider dabs at tears after sharing a recovery breakthrough. By afternoon, picnic tables groan under homemade casseroles and energy bars donated by a local cafe, fuel for conversations about throttle control, confidence hacks, and the latest gear hacks. When riders finally fire up their bikes and snake through downtown, you sense it in every synchronized rumble. This isn't a fan club, it's family. Next, the charity ride footage for PTSD veterans. The sound of engines echoes through forest roads as Dana, clad in her signature jacket, leads the pack. Cut to a veteran, his voice slightly trembling. After Afghanistan, I thought I'd never feel alive again. Then Dana showed up, asked how I was doing, and rode with us. That meant everything. The video shows dollar figures floating on screen, $12,000 raised, each dollar a promise of counseling and camaraderie. As the procession crosses the finish line, fireworks pop in the background, literal sparks matching the emotional climax. In that moment, you see why Dana's community isn't just about bikes. It's about the road back to hope. Finally, we dive into the crowd's perspective. POV shots from helmet cams weaving through cheering fans at a rally. A slow motion of a rider hugging Dana. Voiceover snippets. You changed my life. I found my road family. Her gear saved me. Her words healed me. The camera lingers on a young woman clutching a patch that reads, "Ride with heart," her eyes glistening. The ambient track swells, strings, subtle but stirring. These aren't staged testimonials. They're spontaneous outpourings of gratitude. Proof that Dana's reach runs deeper than subscriber counts and merch sales. As the montage ends, the engine roars drop out, leaving you with the echo of one last quote. "I didn't just buy a jacket. I joined a movement." And if that doesn't give you chills, you might want to check your pulse. She's built a tribe, but the boldest move is still ahead. Are you ready for Dana's next gear shift? The next gear shift. You've watched Dana conquer mountain passes, flip greasy wrenches, and build an empire on 2 Xray shorts. But the gears are still turning. Over the past month, she's shifted from creating content to quietly laying the groundwork for her first full-blown gear line. Tonight, we're mapping out the breadcrumbs she's left. From Patreon whispers and YouTube ghost posts to trademark tombs and a parked domain that screams, "Coming soon." Buckle up! This is the blueprint of a creator going pro. It all started with a single community tab post, only visible to her channel members, showing a shadowed side profile of a helmet sketch. The caption read, "Buckle up. New helmet design dropping summer 2025. We caught it secondhand on a fan's screenshot. The lines look retro, the kind of low-slung silhouette you'd expect on a cafe racer, with vents carved like lightning bolts. Patrons tell us the full artboards hint at integrated heads-up display slots and magnetic visor locks. Then, last week, another screen cap surfaced. A pinned poll asking, "Gloss black or matte red?" You can almost hear ratchet wrenches' soft clink in the background. These teasers aren't just hype. They're a direct line into Dana's workshop, where design meets destiny. But where are the formal filings? We searched the USPTO, key classes for protective gear, sporting goods, even 12 for vehicles, and 25 for apparel. Nada. No biker stuff gear, no Dana stuff, and no helmet-shaped logos pending. That blank result set tells us that Dana is holding her cards close and choosing stealth over splash. By avoiding the public database, she keeps competitors in the dark. No blueprint leaks, no copycats waiting in the wings. It's registered, privacy protected, and parked. No live site, just the domain sitting in limbo. That parked page is more than cyber squat fodder. It's Dana's virtual stake in the ground. She's claimed the URL, ensuring that when she's ready, the click from "Buy Now" will land on her terms, not a reseller's landing page. What Dana's doing is a textbook creator to CEO playbook. Tease in private circles, lock down IP quietly, and then ignite demand with a full launch. By controlling narrative leaks, Patreon artboards, community polls, she's priming an audience that's already invested before a single product ship. But there's one final secret. Behind the cheek pad, Vents hides a patent-pending noise cancellation port. We'll dive into how that works in our next deep dive. For now, imagine this: the helmet of the future, wrapped in Dana's signature Moto Boho flare, ready to drop before the season's end. Thanks for sticking around. Tell us what you think.